Good morning, everyone. I was sitting in this audience 3 years ago and really happy to be here today, share with you all a little bit about what we're building with Foundry and what we're building and what we have built with Foundry to generate and build what we call our fleet operating system at Hertz. Hopefully some of you have rented cars before. I'm sure you've heard of us. We pioneered this business. We've been in business more than 100 years, and we are the most recognizable brand in the world in car rental. We operate a fleet of more than 500,000 vehicles from more than 11,000 locations and across 160 countries around the world. This is a scale business. And in partnership with Palantir, we've been focusing around fleet management and workforce management. And I'm going to give you some demos today of some of the things we've built and some of the things we're building. This is all around our purpose and our mission for our customers, which is making sure we have the right car at the right place at the right time. So, come in with me to car rental and I'll take you a little bit behind the scenes this morning of some of the things you probably don't know go on behind the scenes. So think about the point when you return the car and the next person picks up the car. There's a lot of things that have to be orchestrated during that period. We may need to do an oil change. We may need to change tyres on the vehicle. We obviously have to clean it, right? We have to move cars around the lot. This is quite a complex orchestrated activity that we try and condense to a short amount of time as we can. And why do we do that? Obviously, we want efficiency, we want to minimize our maintenance cost, but more importantly, we want to make sure that we have the car available for you that you've reserved. So here's a little bit of behind the scenes. You can see here one of our vehicle service associates that cleans the car. That's a fuel island. You can see the gas pumps there in the background. This is at our Atlanta location. You can see in the middle one of our transporters that actually moves the cars around the lot and moves it through those different activities that I talked to you about. And then you've also can see here, which we'll show a little bit of a demo shortly, is a very lightweight app that we've built on Foundry and we've deployed on small, cheap Android devices on our lots for our transporters. It is giving them the intelligence to do the next best action with each of those cars. This was an incredibly manual process previously, and we'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. So let's zoom up. This is what we call our fleet control tower. You can see here all of our large US airport locations are represented here, and we've got some AIP agents running there below. We've got an airport disruption agent running on the left, and let's take a little dive down into there and see what's happening in Atlanta. So this agent has been running, it's been identifying potential issues with weather, flights, demand from customers, and I think there's something that's happening in Atlanta with weather. You can see here times of returns, times of pickups. We have some staffing issues later in the day. And in the middle here, you can see this is a bird's eye view of our Atlanta location and the different areas. And you can see we have some potential problems coming up here in returns and in cleaning. Front desk, stalling seems fine. And then down below, you can see an almost near real-time flow of where the vehicles are moving through all these locations. This is just one location. You take this out to thousands of locations, and hopefully you get an understanding of the complexity that we're trying to orchestrate better through the use of Foundry. So let's go in and see a little bit what AIP has picked up here in Atlanta. You can see here that we've got some issues building later in the day around a dirty car backlog and the returns queue. And it's all been driven by some weather events there that are not only impacting flights that are coming in, but it's also impacting the ability for our customers to return their cars because the roads are all backed up coming into Atlanta. So what are we going to do about it? Let's look at some suggested actions. So what Foundry has suggested here is that we move some employees away from front desk, main counter, and the exit gates into returns, because we know we're going to have a surge of returns later in the day. We've also identified we need some overtime, right? We're going to need some folks to work a couple more hours in the day to be able to cope with these issues that are potentially building. We also have the ability to add human context and human in the loop information. Let's say we have one of our customer service representatives on the front counter It's her birthday today. I don't want her to have to work overtime. We can add that in, and she would be removed from the logic around asking for additional overtime. Let's dive in and see how this actually shows up for the actual employees there on the lot. And they will actually get in their app after we've run the orchestration, you can see here in the app, they will get a notification that asks them, would you like to work overtime? You can either accept or reject, depending on what they do. That will then get worked back into the model and then optimize the operation for the next several hours. So let's see what that did. You can now see our charts. We've moved some of the issues. It was no longer all red there on backlogs. We've also seen that where we were red in returns and red in cleaning, it's now amber. Now, front desk has actually gone from green to amber, but that's because, remember, we've moved staff out of the front desk into those other areas of the operation so we can more smoothly balance the workforce with the customer demand and those events that are going on. So what does all this mean? This is a connected fleet operating system, and it really orchestrates customers, vehicles, and our workforce. Those are the three critical components for a business like ours on the ground to make sure that we can drive efficiency and we have clean vehicles available for when our customers want to pick them up. So for our customers, this is all about making sure the car you reserved is there when you arrive. From a efficiency perspective, it's bringing AI into an operation that was historically run on two-way radios. It was run on dispatchers. It was run on people running around the lots, talking to people rather than using an app to communicate that. And finally, it's optimizing our labor and making sure we have the labor deployed to the parts of the operation that are most critical. And it's all in pursuit of our ultimate goal of right car, right place, right time. So, speaking of which, I actually have a task, and this is related to right car at the right time. So I'm going to accept the task. I've been asked to move one of our Hertz Shelby GT500 Mustangs down here today to the AIPCon event. Only 25 of these vehicles have been produced, and they honour 60 years of American Shelby manufacturing of these cars. We're going to break. I would love you to join me outside. This is a classic piece of American muscle car engineering. There's only 25 of them. You can rent it tomorrow at SFO if you like. I'd love to see everyone outside and see one of our Hertz Shelby Mustangs. Thank you.